In the high-stakes realm of technology investing, a fundamental paradigm shift is unfolding right before our eyes. For more than 2 decades, Silicon Valley operated under a single dogmatic religion: pure-play enterprise software. The playbook was deceptively simple. Build a software-as-a-service product, achieve 90% gross margins, burn vast amounts of venture capital to acquire customers, and scale exponentially without the friction of human labor. In 2026, that traditional software playbook is officially broken. The enterprise app market is completely saturated. Customer acquisition costs have skyrocketed, and corporate buyers are suffering from severe software fatigue. Yet, right next door sits a multi-trillion-dollar industry that is thriving, completely overwhelmed with client demand, and virtually immune to traditional software competition. The professional services sector, dominated by the impenetrable cartel known as the Big Four accounting firms: Deloitte, Ernst & Young, KPMG, and PricewaterhouseCoopers. Now, a secretive startup backed by elite Silicon Valley capital has emerged to execute one of the most aggressive, anti-conventional commercial attacks in corporate history. The company is called Multiplier Holdings. Instead of trying to build and sell another software app to conservative accounting firms, Multiplier is doing something far more radical. They are using artificial intelligence as an acquisition vehicle to systematically buy up high-end tax and accounting practices around the world, supercharge their margins, and build a modern cross-border challenger to the Big Four. Multiplier recently finalized a $35 million growth equity round, elevating its valuation to $300 million. The transaction was led by premier venture firm The General Partnership, also known as TheGP, with continued backing from Ribbit Capital and Lightspeed Venture Partners, bringing Multiplier's total capital raised to roughly $62.5 million. To understand why some of the smartest investors in the world are backing a $300 million accounting roll-up, you have to examine the profound macroeconomic bottleneck currently suffocating global finance. Traditional accounting and advisory firms represent the ultimate non-discretionary corporate expense. Every corporation, tech startup, and family office on planet Earth must file taxes and navigate cross-border regulatory compliance. The demand is limitless, and the client relationships are sticky. However, traditional professional service firms face an acute, existential crisis: a catastrophic shortage of qualified human labor. The global pipeline of certified public accountants has contracted sharply. Senior tax advisors are burnt out, overwhelmed by thousands of pages of changing international tax law, and drowning in manual compliance work. Because traditional accounting partnerships operate on annual, profit distribution models that discourage long-term capital investments in software engineering, these incumbent firms remain trapped in archaic, billable hour manual labor. This exact bottleneck sparked the inception of Multiplier. Co-founded in 2022 by Noah Pepper and Argyris Zimnis, the company's thesis was forged out of Pepper's real-world operational frustration. While serving as an executive at payment infrastructure giant Stripe, leading their Asia-Pacific expansion from Singapore, Pepper experienced firsthand how painfully slow, expensive, and fragmented cross-border tax filing was for international companies and executives. Initially, Pepper and Zimnis set out to build Multiplier as a standard software company, intending to sell specialized software platforms to family offices and financial institutions. But they quickly encountered the brutal reality of selling software into traditional finance. Endless enterprise sales cycles, entrenched legacy habits, and massive operational resistance. That is when Noah Pepper executed a brilliant strategic pivot. He realized a fundamental truth of modern capital physics. Services are a phenomenal business if you can figure out how to scale them. If accounting firms are unwilling or unable to buy complex software from an outside vendor, the solution isn't to fight them. The solution is to acquire them. This strategy borrows heavily from the legendary playbooks of vertical software aggregators like Constellation Software and Roper Technologies. Companies like Constellation prove that buying stable, cash-flowing software businesses and holding them for the long term generates astronomical compound returns. But Multiplier is taking that roll-up playbook and applying it to professional human services with a game-changing artificial intelligence twist. Multiplier bets that there is far greater enterprise value in bringing independent service companies together into an interconnected, tech-enabled network than in keeping them as isolated software point solutions. Crucially, Multiplier is not operating like a ruthless traditional private equity firm. Standard private equity buyouts in the professional services industry follow a notoriously destructive script. Take on heavy debt, fire senior practitioners to cut costs, strip away local brand identities, and force a rigid, centralized corporate bureaucracy down everyone's throat. This traditional buyout model almost always destroys value, causing top-tier talent and long-standing clients to flee. Multiplier completely rejects the traditional buyout approach. When Multiplier acquires a high-end tax or accounting practice, the acquired business retains its local operational management, its client relationships, and its localized brand identity. Company owners and managing partners receive powerful financial incentives to remain in place and continue growing the business. Instead of stripping value, Multiplier acts as a technical growth engine. They plug the acquired firm directly into a shared technical infrastructure powered by specialized artificial intelligence models. AI does not replace the human tax expert. Rather, it eliminates the low-level administrative manual labor, automating complex regulatory data parsing, multi-jurisdictional tax mapping, and routine financial documentation. The financial results of this approach are astonishing. Consider Multiplier's very first acquisition, Citrine International Tax, a boutique advisory firm based in the United Kingdom specializing in complex cross-border taxation. Within just 8 months of joining the Multiplier network and integrating its AI infrastructure, Citrine increased its operating cash flows by approximately 2.5 times. Because practitioners were no longer bogged down by repetitive paperwork, their client capacity expanded dramatically without increasing working hours. Demonstrating Multiplier's commitment to aligned incentives, a significant portion of those expanded cash flows was distributed directly back to Citrine employees as performance bonuses, aligning workforce productivity directly with technological adoption. To execute a capital-intensive M&A strategy alongside advanced engineering, a company requires world-class executive leadership. Multiplier brought in Allen Shim as its chief financial officer and president. Shim is corporate finance royalty in Silicon Valley, having previously served as the finance chief at messaging pioneer Slack, where he steered both its 2019 public listing and its massive $28 billion acquisition by Salesforce in 2021. Shim's arrival signals that Multiplier is playing a long-term institutional game. His deep expertise in complex balance sheet strategy, global M&A execution, and public market readiness gives Multiplier the financial architecture needed to absorb dozens of firms seamlessly across international borders. Multiplier's expansion velocity is accelerating rapidly. The company has already completed 8 corporate acquisitions, with 4 additional transactions actively in development. A core strategic focus is dominating high-margin cross-border corridors between major economic hubs. For example, Multiplier acquired UK corporate accounting firm Onsite Accounting, which subsequently hired Deloitte veteran Devin Wentworth to head its United States tax operations. This move specifically targets transatlantic tech startups expanding into North America and raising capital from American institutional investors. As Anthony Klein, a partner at the General Partnership who led the latest investment round, pointed out, building generational enterprise networks requires patient capital and long-term vision. He compares Multiplier's potential trajectory to global financial infrastructure assets like Visa. While an initial public offering remains a potential future milestone, Multiplier's primary focus remains on aggressive network expansion. The broader lesson for every founder, investor, and business leader watching this unfold is clear. The era of selling pure software tools into reluctant industries is coming to a close. The real enterprise value of the next decade belongs to those who use artificial intelligence to acquire high-demand, cash-flowing service businesses, empower human expertise with machine intelligence, and build defensible global platform networks. If you enjoyed this deep dive commercial autopsy, please hit that like button right now. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts on whether AI roll-ups will successfully challenge the Big Four. Share this video with a founder or investor who needs to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss an institutional breakdown of the world's most aggressive business strategies. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next analysis.